Hello everyone and welcome back to Rebel Brick. This morning I'm kind of working a little bit on the morning side instead of trying to get this done at night after I'm done with work and all that. We have set, oh boy, it's a Star Wars set from Andor, or no, actually not Andor, from Obi-Wan Kenobi, 75334. I picked this up. I really like the droid. If you look for this droid by himself, I think he goes for $50. The set is about $50, so getting the set and then you get the droid, pretty much the same. We get Obi-Wan, and of course we have his lightsaber. We have Darth Vader, and if you take, it will kind of cover him, or I'll try to. You get his lightsaber. We have our droid, and of course they have his hammer that they had in Obi-Wan. And then you have the young officer here and her pistol. I don't remember her name. She was somewhat of a key character to me, or in the show, but not overly big to me. Just, trying to, like all the officers in my view, all just trying to get their careers going above everybody else's. So it really didn't matter a lot to me. I like the droid because, I like the animals when we get them out of Legos. I like the droids when we get them out of Star Wars. When you get different designs, whether it's, someone that's more humanoid like this one, and really the head part is just that. So, and it works for me. I don't have any problems with that. It's kind of nicely done. We do have a little bit of a build on the back. Essentially, when you watch the show, they have a guy in a suit, which, I have no issues with that. You're trying to make stuff science fiction-ish, and with the limitations that we can do. Now, we do have a lot of CG that we can use today to make things a lot better, but having things in a physical realm, I think, really works a lot better because you can actually interact with it. CG has a great part in things, but I know I've heard it said a couple times that in 5 years after you do a movie with the CG, it starts looking dated because we have better technology, or the resolution of the TVs are better, and you can see the minor flaws a little bit more. And having something physical, I think, always seems a little bit better. Let's see. We have the we got 2 reds and 2 blues, and I forget what that equals out to mean. I don't know if she's a lieutenant or a commander or whatever. I'm a little rusty on the Imperial rank. I know I just watched, and this is done after I just got done watching Ahsoka, and unfortunately they had a naval officer and they called him a captain, and he was not actually a captain. It would have been an army captain, not a navy captain. He would have been a lieutenant. Just how things work, being in the army, and I know how that stuff kind of goes. Of course, he was in command of the ship, so automatically that does make him a captain, but having someone that low rank and that high of a position doesn't typically happen. But we'll just run with it. Then we have Obi-Wan, and I know I'm skipping over Darth Vader here. And he's got the, he's got the longer hair in the back. He's got his kind of the way he was in the show a little bit more, where he's just been kind of hiding and feeling kind of beat down. That he's just kind of watching over Luke and everything else. Now we have Darth Vader, and I can't tell you how many Darth Vaders I've got. I honestly don't know. The print looks pretty good. Of course, we have the cape on him. He's got a little bit of a print on the back here. The head is a little different. Normally we get a white head because he's been in there a while, really pale and all that. But here, because they actually had, and I always goof this up, and I do apologize, was it Hayden Christensen? I think it's Hayden Christensen. I always get them mixed around, and I don't know why. I do believe he's a really good actor, and I'll say that for all the Star Wars. I think the actors were great. The only things I've had an issue with is really when it comes to the last trilogy. Sometimes the stories weren't the greatest. I think Daisy Ridley did a really good job, but unfortunately, they don't really explain how she gets the ability to fight somebody that has taken down a Jedi school. Maybe that's a conversation I should have some other time, and I could do a whole video on that, I'm sure. They really needed to have her do a little bit more training, and people have mentioned that in the third movie they had her doing more training, but that's something that she should have been doing in the first one. When you look at Luke and his upbringing, and even when they did Anakin, they said, hey, he's a good pilot, and that's really what he did. He was a good pilot, and he was used to throwing he's seems like a redneck farm boy. I mean, he's throwing rocks at toads or whatever, which, here in the United States, that would be like throwing rocks at a boar down in Texas or something like that, because they get fairly big down there, from a truck. And for him, it was out of a speeder that really the X-Wing controls were almost identical to that speeder. So, but we do have some nice print on Anakin for his face, and I do believe, no, it wasn't flipped around, but we still have print on the backside showing that he's got scars and all that stuff. So I was thinking he had a face on the other side. Let's see here, is it Obi-Wan that's got a face on the other side? I believe it is. Yes. So he's got more of a like he's kind of mad or whatever. Usually, if you notice, most of my characters, I try not to have them with a very mad face. With the character Rex that I have for our Kelvin Butterfingers comic, that's just the only face he's got. She looks a little on the stern side. Of course, there is no second face on there. There we are. Now this, looking at all this, this opens up. This is a piece just in the back, and then we have this is all bricked in, and then this is just a wheel that can spin, but it's just bricked in here, so it looks like it's melting stuff or whatever. Because if you remember, maybe I'm getting this mixed up, this is an area where they were melting down metals and stuff like that. So we do have a little cargo skiff here, and these boxes come out, and those are just placed inside. Kind of set that in there, so you could actually have someone just kind of pushing this along. And this is on a little bit of a rocker, so if I set this here, I could maybe even dump that out if I hit it hard enough. The interesting thing out of the build is if I flip this down and I put that in, now we have no lava or anything going through here. I'll move Obi-Wan over here so I don't keep knocking him over. We don't have any lava flow, and if I pull this out, ta-da, there it is. So kind of interesting. The thoughts I've had with this is one of two things. I was thinking of lava. Maybe I could match it up with this other build here. So this is actually from a whole different set from a couple years ago, and this is like a little volcano mountain or whatever. Here, let me slide that front. There. Yeah, I'm knocking over characters left and right here. Character abuse, I tell you. So it's from Nexonites or Ninjago, one of them. So this is like a volcano from an Explorer series that Lego did a couple years ago. Actually had one of those rock kind of translucent orange like this, but it was one of the rocks, and I could actually flip it up so it could fall out. Has the same kind of build on all four sides, so depending on which side you're on, except for the very back, And even here you can see where it's translucent in there. So you can try and have this however. But I was kind of thinking if I had this in the background and I could put this build in the front, it would look like we had some sort of a hill that's flowing lava, and then it's just kind of coming on down. This would take a little bit of work. What I might do is I might actually tear this build itself apart, because we do have two spinners, which was meant to have Obi-Wan and Darth Vader kind of lightsaber battle. But having the spinners, and follow my silliness here, because I'm trying to redo or I'm trying to make a better kind of bat cave. I might try and get these or take this out and then take some of this build, so that way I could have like the Batmobile and have it spin around like you would always see in the movies or in some of the cartoons. He just kind of drives up and then the Batmobile spins around. And having this rock terrain or whatever usually fits for how they show the Bat Cave. And then I want to take the lava elements here, and I want to get a stream that would kind of go out for doing a terrain piece. I think that would be kind of cool. This piece, I'm going to save this, and I'm going to put that onto some building or something. I put this on here because I did a little stop motion, so I'll actually put the stop motion at the end of this. And what I'm going to hopefully do is I'm going to hopefully get some time. I got a lot of running around today, so I don't know what kind of time I'm going to have, and that usually seems to be the limitation. I'm trying to, you know, build, and then I have to work and everything else, so sometimes, you know, time just gets to be a limitation. Weekends are really good building days for me, and trying to get some videos in where I can do some other stuff. But you know, during the week, I'm trying to do the best I can. It's just hard when you're trying to balance a couple different things at one time. But hey, you know, it's a labor of love. You know, I enjoy building things. It is enjoyable to do this. It just gets to be one of those things of, you know, when you're trying to balance life and work and your hobbies and everything else at one time. Not always the easiest, but you know, we keep trying to go and getting this done. Like I said, I do have a GIF I made out of this. We have, you know, no one's fighting. We have Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, seeing that, you know, it's Anakin, so, you know, them just kind of hanging around, and we'll actually kind of get this guy floating over. And then because I kind of liked them, and I actually have these little guys sitting here on the pool table. I have these guys coming through too. I kind of like having these big spiders. I think that works pretty good. I wish I had some other big spider ones or whatever. I kind of do, but I just don't have them in Lego. I picked these up for Dungeons and Dragons, and I could probably put those in here. These are supposed to be what do they call them, like giant bird catcher spiders or something like that. But even for a Lego guy, that's a pretty big spider. I think the Lego guy would have to worry about them. But having spiders and stuff like that's in there, that would be really neat. All that. So, all right. What I'll do is we'll get this edited up. We'll get the GIF, that little GIF, ending GIF video that I did. And I think that's about 20 seconds, so that might start being my ending little GIF here for a little bit. Just playing and having fun, trying to make something different at the end, because I usually talk all the way up till the end, and then, you know, we get the little whatever YouTube says is a suggested video for you, which is fine. You know, I'm hoping you're here for the fun and the silliness that goes on in my little mind here, and we just have some fun and a couple laughs. And maybe I give you some building ideas or something. That's what this is all about. It's just to have some fun. So, and with that being said, thank you so very much for visiting today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and keep bricking.